Hello, this is Andrew with Mammalian.bike, and these are Giant's Revolt Fenders. Curiosity got the better of me, and I kind of had other plans for these, and I didn't really, these are the S-Cast ones from the aluminum Revolt, and I didn't really want to cut these to make them fit on the bike here. So I decided that I was going to pay the $47 and go for these. So we are going to install these on the Revolt, and we'll see how it goes. So one of the things I thought would be interesting would be to get a size comparison between this SKS fender and the Revolt fender. As we can see here, if I lined up the mount point, which is underneath the fork there, we can see that the Revolt fender doesn't go down nearly as low. So it's not going to work as well. It's not going to keep as much spray off of your legs as this SKS fender would, which is kind of disappointing. And if we do essentially the same thing with the rear, we can see that the rear fender, the rear SKS fender, is also quite a bit bigger. So it would have had better coverage as well. And this Revolt fender, it ends right here. So any water that's coming off here is gonna get on you, which is, again, not as ideal. But hopefully they install really easy. It's quite possible that this is the most frustrating thing I've ever done on a bike. As you can see, the fenders are on. I have very little confidence in the installation, but they're on. We're going to quickly walk through what I did to get them on. So the front went on super easy. We're just going to move over to the front. So you can see here, just kind of go on here. I did add the same kinds of stem plumbing repair washers that I used most of the time when I do it, just to keep the hardware off the frame. I don't know why they want metal on the frame. That doesn't seem sustainable. The through axle does operate here with these, with the fender on, so the hardware is small enough that you can get the through axle in there, no problem. So that's great. The back is a totally different story. What I ended up doing was flipping the smart connect around and connecting two of these connectors, or the things that hold the braces here, in one screw, because it has to work that way because that's the only hardware that's supplied. The tricky bit was that I can't fit it in here in the bottom one, so I had to flip the braces around, and fortunately these are bolted in, unlike a lot of other fenders, so you can take the bracket here off and here off, so that this is the bracket or the brace that came here, and this brace came there. I had to put the short one up front to make this work. And in this configuration, it does work, but it blows my mind that Giant would sell something like this with zero instructions and expect people to figure that out. It also blows my mind that they wouldn't just take advantage of the Smart Connect bracket here just to make a fender bracket that just clicks right on there. Or even if it's just something that works exactly like this, that is one piece that bolts in there. But yeah, I don't know. It's on, and they seem to work. But man, was it frustrating. Try out a few different tire sizes. These are 28C that measure right around 31. The fender itself is 46.2 millimeters wide on the outside. On the inside, of course, it would be slightly narrower than that, which means that you should be able to get the 38 or 40 in there, but so that's what I have here. So we're going to start with a 38. So this is a 38C tire, and we'll just quickly measure it to see what it is, what the width is. And it measures out at 40.3. Let's pop that in. And so we can see here, and I would have to adjust the brakes here, but the tire itself is fully covered by the fender, so that would work. All right, so let's take that out. And let's pop in. These are my 40C stud tires. Let's see what they measure out to. So these are actually, so they go to 37, which is narrower. So they would obviously work, but we'll just throw them in there just in case. Because these actually have a longer lug on them. Yeah, and we can see there's plenty of space here too. Okay, so last one that I happen to have handy is a set of 42C tires. And let's get the width on these. So these are 42C tires, and they measure out at 43.7. And actually, even they are covered here well enough that it would probably work. Fortunately, I don't have anything bigger than this at the moment. You are getting pretty close up to the top here. So if you were to ride this in anything but rain, that might be an issue, because it might gum up the fender enough that it might tear it, which wouldn't be ideal. Of course, you could just push the back out here, but then you run into issues here and up front. So I probably wouldn't run these 42s. So maybe 40 is the biggest you can go. Hopefully you found that useful. If you did, like the video and subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below and I will get to them as soon as I can. Thanks.